Hey everyone, hello, hello, hello. And it is okay. I will already give a service announcement. You can unmute yourself and say hi if you want to. I know usually Zoom keep it on mute, but if you want, we can definitely say hi to each other. I'm gonna wait for a couple more people to come in.
Hi, everyone.
And I am actually going to put up a slide real quick. Usually we do this probably after we give introductions, but I thought while we're still waiting, this would be a good way to actually have us know a little bit about each other. So I am putting it up right now. You can give me the thumbs up when you see it. So you should be seeing it within 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let me get a thumbs up if you can see it. Perfect, perfect. So this is usually our network and community, getting to know each person who's in here. So please put this within the order in chat. And some people tend to ask me how you return in the Zoom chat. I believe if you have a Mac or anything, you press Option or Control. How's it going, Heinz? And I see you're unmuted. I always feel to people, I hope people's name because you people mess up some lines. But is it Julia?
It's super hard to hear you. The music is louder than your voice.
Oh wow, I did not know
there
that.
You go.
But yeah, is it Julia?
Yeah, Julia. Like Julia.
Julia,
yeah.
Perfect, perfect. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
How's it going, Jay, Tiffany?
Hello. Is that better?
Yes, yes, it is.
Unmute us.
I love the name. How's it going, Grandma Jean?
Grandma Jean. Where'd that come from?
I don't know.
That's what it says on the name.
I see Grandma Jean is on your name.
Yeah, I don't know where that came from. I'm not Jean, and I'm not a grandma, so I'm not sure. Something, who knows what happened? I'm Gina, and this is Trevor.
Hi.
Gina is a little close to Jean, at least, right?
It's a constant problem to keep your profile up to date, you know.
Oh, yeah, I think that was Trevor's fault.
Oh yeah, blame it on the young kid.
Pretty sure, yeah, definitely.
How do you know he's young?
Yeah. He's way younger than me, that's for sure.
Yeah.
You're sitting beside him, and you might know.
Yeah, right. This is true.
All right. How is it going, Neha? I believe I said it right, hopefully.
Neha.
Neha, how's it going?
Yeah.
Good.
Hi, yeah.
I found out
Hello.
on the virtual life of it is okay to figure out the correct pronunciation of people's names.
Way better than saying it wrong the whole time.
Yes.
Exactly.
It's always good to ask.
Yeah.
Well, I see that everybody has theirs in. We're going to turn the music down. Or we could just turn it off. Perfect, perfect, perfect. I'm going to go and share now the home screen. Give me just a second. Perfect. All right. That was a funny way to present. Okay. Now, if you can, bringing some more people in. All right. We can all see the screen again, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Perfect. Perfect. So it is 7:09. We'd love to get this started. Thank you all for coming to DNT Tech, being able to just, first of all, share all of this information. I love doing these. I'm going to share with you a little bit about DNT Tech first. We were first founded within 2010. And with over 2,400 members, we found out that this is a great place of networking, networking resources for Detroit and SE Michigan startup community. And we really, really love this environment of being able to share new businesses and hopefully connect with certain people that you may not have ever met before. We tend to encourage and highlight, the entrepreneurial startups within our specific region. Plus, we love the collaboration to provide meaningful events and just build our community, especially now during this virtual era of building communities. We find it to be very, very important. So thank you all still for coming. And we are going to move forward. I had to force quit. I noticed I was lagging a little bit. All right. Now, there is a picture of me. My name is Micah. There's a picture of my wife and my two amazing sons. He is 5 years old and he really doesn't care about the picture. Clearly, he's looking at the camels and wondering why their humps are so big. So his name is Jaden. And the little one who you can't see, who is asleep and will not even remember that moment at the zoo, his name is Malachi, and now he is 8 months. Reason why I'm showing you a picture of my family is because the statistics say that you will listen to me more 30%. So That's why I showed you a picture of my family right there. Now you get to know me, I get to know you. Now, again, my name is Micah and I work for a company called Accelerate Kid. And what I do there is I do marketing, associate, and PR work. So basically I do the website updates, social media, content management, the branding of it, tech educator, and SEL, SEA. I don't know if we all heard of it, but social and emotional learning is becoming a big thing around for companies, making sure that we can connect with others. So I handle all of that. And Accelerate Kid, we basically teach kids from kindergarten all the way through 8th grade on how to work with coding. I'm talking about JavaScript. I'm talking about Python. It's crazy. Robotics, game design, and digital arts. So we love doing what we do, and we love seeing kids at such a young age being able to progress further and being able to be excited about what I consider the most spoken language around the world. I know people argue on different languages, but if you really want to look into it, computer and technology is big. So I consider coding the largest language ever spoken. Now, I do have hobbies. I do like to share some of my fun attributes. I love playing pool. I miss playing pool. I haven't been in a billiard hall since, I don't know, before COVID, and I don't even remember when that was anymore. Um, I love photo and video editing, and I love going just to walk in nature. It really relieves me, and I'm pretty sure we all have stresses of life, and we all have to figure out different avenues and different ways to release. So those are some of my hobbies that just help me release. Now, why I do what I do is I'm just good with capturing and strategizing attention. I love being able to, I guess, talk and be filled with personality and understand what somebody wants. And I love captivating on that and actually getting them that. I love happiness. So that's a little bit about me. So now hopefully you know a little bit more about your host. Now, our agenda today is we're doing the introduction. You know, we're already in that. Then we are going to, I actually kind of skipped within the networking, but if you actually still want to do that, I'm going to go to the slide next, and I would love to get your information that everybody was able to do at the beginning of the call. The first person who's going to be speaking, his name is Cedric Porties. Hopefully I pronounced your last name correct. And then the next person, as you see, would be Millie. If I did not pronounce that correct, I know you'll correct me. And then the next one, it will be Trevor. And I am super excited to see some of these innovations and some of these businesses that people have going on. So again, we would also like to thank some of our sponsors. And our sponsors are Accelerate Kid, the company that I work for. And we also have a nonprofit. All those things that you heard that Accelerate Kid does, teaching kids coding, robotics, game design, digital arts, our nonprofit tries to go out into the into Detroit, into certain areas, a part of different communities that might not be able to actually get that education. We do that. And we try and do that for free. So that is our nonprofit side, which we are so happy that we do. And I'm so happy I'm a part of. And of course, we would like to give a special thank to the sponsor of Tech Town Detroit. Now, as you see in the red font, we are looking for new sponsors just to get exposure to over 2,000 plus members. We are aiming for it, and we know we can do it. So if that's you, you can definitely contact us. Or if you know somebody, we would love to get in contact with them. Now, this was the network and communicating community building slide. So for anybody who did not put this in the chat, please take either a picture of it, a snapshot on your computer, and that would be super, super great. That would be super, super perfect. So we can get just a better sense about you. And I did actually get a message earlier. Yes, I do work closely with Jack. I definitely know Jack. Me and Jack actually work in a GDYT program. For those who don't know, that's Grow Detroit's Young Talent. So we worked in that program together, and he is doing great. He usually hosts these, but he has passed the baton onto me. So hopefully I'm doing well thus far. All right. Now, the first person to go is going to be Cedric. So if you have your slide, can you give me a thumbs up? Because I will, and I did see that you sent me a note, and I can give co-hosting privileges. Who would I be giving co-hosting privileges to? You should already have yours. Oh, I can't hear you.
I'm sorry. So it'll be myself, and then my wife will also be, she'll be the co-presenter.
Gotcha, perfect. Here, wait just 1 second. I'm gonna remake you a co-host. And before you go, as you see some of those bullet points that I have for Cedric, I actually found out some cool and interesting things, especially the last bullet point, Cedric. I found out about you that you were in the Air Force and performed at the Air Force Base. So hopefully you could give us just a little information about that. But we also they're here because they're founders and co-founders of IT Figures. And we also know that you have a love for collecting. So Cedric, I'm super excited to hear about your IT Figures. I'm going to stop sharing now, and then I will give the baton to you to actually share your presentation.
Thank you very much.
Can everyone see the screen? Okay, did it change for you? Okay, wonderful.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Thank you all for your time and your ears.
Sure.
And my name is Cedric Porties, founder of Bit Figures. This is my beautiful wife, Tiffany, co-founder of Bit Figures. And we empower youth to persevere through adversity by utilizing action figures. So African-American action figures, and we leverage both non-fictional and fictional action figures to share the stories of influential minorities who leverage their strengths to persevere through adversity to achieve success. Some of the adversities that are impacting our youth, obviously we have COVID going on, bullying is a big one, crime, food insecurity, poverty. These are some of the things that are impacting our youth, and they impact their mental, emotional, as well as their physical health. And it prevents them from being able to fully thrive and prosper. So every hero has a story. And my origin story, it began in Detroit, Michigan on the east side. I don't know how many east side Detroiters we have here, but I grew up on the east side of Detroit. During that time in the 80s, a lot of crime going on. So my parents, in defense of that, they kept me isolated. I was in the house quite a bit. Also, there weren't a lot of amenities where I live. So we had to travel like 30 minutes away to get to quality groceries and things of that nature, as well as drive 30 minutes to go to school. Also had a low self-image. I was bullied as a child quite a bit. And then as well as, with career options, very limited. The only visible figures I had in front of me were, manual labor jobs, sales, or teachers. So I really didn't know much about careers. So as with every good superhero, though, you leverage those adversities, and they actually wound up developing, I developed powers as a result of that adversity. So one here, I reference Luke Cage. Anybody recognize him from Marvel? I thought he was an excellent reference here from the perspective of receiving and those bullets and still being able to push forward. So one thing about being bullied, you develop a thick skin, you begin to tolerate and deal with the naysayers. Being in different environments forced me to develop the ability to adapt to different types of people and environments. Being alone so much, I spent a lot of time playing with action figures, creating art projects, utilizing different resources around the house. As I reached adolescence, that turned into listening to hip hop music, underground hip hop to be specific. And finally, based on all these things, leadership was developed because it really made me want to help others to persevere through their adversities and not have to stumble as hard as I did. So, as a result of persevering through adversity, I was able to achieve some levels of success. This here kind of represents as a reflection of me, some of the things I've experienced. Graduated from Cass Tech High School. I don't know if you have any technicians in the house. As Michael mentioned, I'm a veteran of the United States Air Force. And with regards to performing, on a side note, it was very low key in the club, on the base, nothing major. But nevertheless, my confidence was obviously higher at that time. Persevered through that. Wayne County Community College got a associate's degree, went on to Wayne State to receive a bachelor's degree in social work. I'm currently serving as an assistant manager in IT at Hino Motors Manufacturing in Novi, Michigan. Throughout the years, I've mentored and volunteered. And within recent years, become an entrepreneur with my wife when we have started the company It Figures. Who is an It Figure? Well, It Figure has that it factor. It's anyone who's persevered through their adversities and achieved their dreams. And It Figures L.L.C, we leverage the traveling action figure exhibit and program to affirm that It Figure in all participants. We tell the stories of real life and fictional heroes to inspire and motivate. This is a small capture of our collection. We leverage, like I said, both non-fictional and fictional heroes of color. As you can see in the upper left, we have the comic representation. We have sports, civil rights, and arts and science. So a little bit of everything there. Again, we have the museum quality action figures as well as hands-on activities that connect the dots between the figures and the individual careers that they are in. And also it empowers kids to leverage their superpowers. In addition to the exhibit, we complement that with a program. Currently, we're offering virtual programming due to the pandemic. We leverage, like I said, on-site and virtual to ultimately empower youth at a young age to identify their strengths or superpowers, I should say. Everyone has a superpower, so at this point, we're just bringing that to their attention.
So we actually initially thought K through 12, but our first outing was actually with college students. And so the knowledge of how to persevere through adversity and making it fun by talking about our superpowers that we all have, but just not seeing it in that particular way. And how do we apply them to our daily lives has gone over very well. So we've been with preschoolers really all the way up to young adults, but the primary goal is K through young adults. And then there's hands-on appropriate activities. So kids of this age that you see in the picture may do some coloring of a paper silhouette to see themselves as their own action hero. But we've also done this with high school students, and they'll write, some positive words or how they've shown their superpowers or what comes to mind to them on it. It may be an exercise where you go through our viewing of an exhibit, hands-on activity with a tech piece, such as an IoT Iron Man, and some other pieces where you're, kind of collecting the dots and doing an activity hands-on around that. And the goal is basically to cultivate this cycle, which we'll talk to you about shortly here. And to Micah's point, the social and emotional learning, and engaged learning in this case is what the outcome is for students who participate in this program.
So again, just a reiteration of the cultivation cycle, we address elementary, middle school, and high school, from identifying your superpower to the application aspect. Again, K through 5, identifying. Middle schoolers, we are applying, and high school and beyond, we're applying, and also how do we give back to the community? Why It Figures is important. We promote and empower and provide diversity and inclusion. We empower youth to identify and apply their superpowers, their strengths, if you will, to persevere through adversity. We provide positive self-reflection by leveraging characteristics of fictional and non-fictional heroes in museum-like action figure format. And we have an innovative application of STEAM soft and hard skills, leveraging creativity, collaboration, communication, knowledge of engineering, and technology. And it's promoting a positive life cycle in the community with regards to development and impact.
And as part of the program, we spend some time talking about adversity. So the adversity to even a strength, and how adversity can come from external. So let's say Killmonger, for those of you who have seen Black Panther, he was adversity to Black Panther, but he was also an adversity to himself at the end, based on, you know, how he was kind of going down a particular path, if you will. So, you know, we help students kind of self-reflect all the way through as to, you know, what adversities are they facing. And then as we go through and learn each superpower, they kind of jot down how they can apply it.
So how can you support the It Figures mission? One, referrals. We're very much open to audiences that you may be aware of that would be interested in our program. In conjunction with that, for those audiences that do not have the funding per se, we are interested in underwriters and corporate sponsorship.
Mm-hmm. And this is also to, you know, even if it was just bringing out the museum to empower people, so young to adults alike have been interested in seeing these figures. You know, for those who are like, oh, Muhammad Ali, that's my, you know, or Misty Copeland, or, you know, Colin Powell, Harry Temp. So we have a variety of figures that everyone seems to enjoy. And he didn't talk as much about it, but by playing with toys when he was young, you know, that captures people's attention, particularly children, and kind of opens them up to then say, okay, well, let me learn. Our cards have one-liners as to an adversity that this person has gone through, and then also their success, because we know people by their success, but not that they've actually persevered through something to get there.
And then we're also interested in tech support and development, particularly like hands-on activities. Right now, we leverage Scratch programming, just an intro to that using an Iron Man robot. We also introduced the concept of smart sneakers and jerseys, Legos, mag formers, but we like to begin to introduce our youth to individuals who are in the workforce and be able to expose them to technology and things of that nature from that perspective as well, real life, real world scenarios, and or 15 to 30 minute hands-on activities. And finally, a marketing support from various businesses that reflect their company. So swag from GM, Ford, etc. Thank you.
Perfect. I love it.
Very good.
Sorry for going over.
That's okay.
It is okay. You actually ran, because we started earlier with you. You ran perfectly to end.
Okay.
So I think that was still amazing. This is the time, everybody, that we present our Q&A. All right. Just dealing with those it figures that we have. So if anyone wanted, and I'll probably go last because I actually have a couple questions, but does anybody have questions for it figures for Cedric and his, and what was your wife's name? I forgot.
Tiffany.
Tiffany. And Tiffany, Cedric and Tiffany. If you want, you can unmute yourself.
Hey, this is Gina. I'm just wondering, what did you, when you performed, or did you sing? What did you do? You
We thought we were the next A Tribe Called Quest rap group.
Oh, that's cool. Okay, I didn't know if it was a dancing gig or no, but you guys have a great idea there. It's very cool because I think you can really capture, kids' attention through action figures, and everyone relates when they're young. For me, it was Barbies, and I mean, I remember like it was yesterday. I'd probably still play with them today if I had them, I think. But I know Barbie gets a bad rap.
Yeah, it does.
These days. Hopefully they've, kind of made them a little more.
They have.
Have they?
To your point, they've stepped up their game.
Yeah.
They have like briefcases now, and
Yes.
yeah, that
Showcase
was
a couple of their Barbies, like Katherine Johnson and
oh cool.
Rosa Parks
Ella
and
Fitzgerald,
yeah.
Maya Angelou.
Right, for sure. More, yeah. Real important people rather than just some, Barbie. But I'll have to walk down a Barbie aisle
Yes.
soon and see what's going on. Yeah.
Well, what I really liked about what you guys are doing is obviously helping the youth with those things as far as bullying, and it sounds like mental health. And I think mental health is something that is often overlooked, especially with all ages, especially the youth.
Oh, for sure.
And, I would love to connect with both of you because I think, just networking, I think I could help you guys maybe with some connections with the education sector. I know a company that works specifically with companies and schools, helping them with mental health type things. So that might be a good connection for you guys. So we should definitely chat about that.
Thank you very much.
You.
Yeah, bullying it just, I think it breaks everyone's heart when they think a kid's getting bullied. And I don't think, any of us can do enough to try and, prevent that or, teach kids about it. And,
Yeah.
no doubt.
Thank you.
So in terms of your contact information, did you see our contact information? Would you mind sending your info to us?
Yeah, I threw my LinkedIn link in the thing.
Oh, okay.
But, we can connect there, obviously, or if you want to.
No, that's fine.
Okay, cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
I definitely understand what you were saying when it came to the Barbies, because my wife has a Barbie untouched in our closet, and yeah, she won't let me touch it either or move it, or she just like keeps it. I don't know what type of value it holds, but it holds some type of important value for her. I actually have a question pertaining to it figures. Have you all seen I guess, how do you handle, because I'm guessing not all kids, right, probably think right when they come in, maybe like action figures, all this is kid stuff. There's that certain age part where kids are like, oh, I'm too cool for what I really love. How do you kind of connect with them, and what is the end result with them? I heard you say one of the output was that SEL and SEA for them to understand, different social and emotional learning skills. But what's the overall goal within getting in touch with the kids who may not be so into it, to where they come out saying, hey, I have this specific thing, I have this specific power, and now I need to know how to use it? Do you like give them something like of like this plaque or something saying, hey, here's your superpower, now you know how to use it? Like, how do you do that?
So thank you for everybody's questions and feedback. We appreciate it. Well, one, they seem to, so when people hear toys, to your point, it's like, oh, toys. But when people look at them, they're so, and I was going to try to pull it back up again, but I don't want to cut your face off being the host and looking at us, but they look so real that people get fascinated by, wow, that's Jordan with his tongue out, because Michael Jordan is famous for, you know, his shot with his tongue. And yes, that's exactly right, Heinz. Yes, that's exactly right. And so people really get enamored by how lifelike they look. So even adults from that perspective. In terms of the takeaway, it depends on the age group, but we've done something like collecting gems. So for those of you who are into the Avengers and Civil War, and you know, we have Thanos who used the collection of gems for bad. We actually use the collection of gems for good. And so you're collecting gems along the way as you learn about the powers, sitting through the program, going through the different stations. And then how are you going to apply that going forward? If you sit through the whole workshop too, you get a certificate. But usually the ability to kind of self-reflect through each power, which includes anything from individual powers to healthy relationships. So let's say the Power Rangers, you know, what does it mean to have a healthy relationship, and how do you work together with others? So they typically walk away equipped with something to apply to their everyday life. And because of the imagery we use, they reflect on that when it's I'm using this power to.
Do you make these figures? You make these figures?
We don't make the figures. They're just a part of a collection that's been collecting for almost 20 years.
Gotcha.
So they're high-end collectibles.
Yeah.
Some things from Target, but
we do have some custom made figures within our collection from an artist that we know.
That's very nice. I'm pretty sure, has anybody tried to buy any?
Oh yes, that happens all the time.
Definitely. I
Did
want to
answer your question though, or
no, definitely it did. It's the answer that I kind of received from that was basically, and correct me if I'm wrong, just simply helping them understand, you know, like it's the connection. First of all, no matter what, no one's too cool for still their old self, which usually this can all find somebody somewhere. And at that point, that's when you help them start to kind of like understand, like, hey, you know, these are things that you personally can do. Don't kind of consider these so far-fetched that these inanimate objects don't have something to deal with your definite animate person self. So I kind of definitely still got that just from the answer. So thank you very much. But I don't want to take up too much of the time. We do have room for one more question. Did anybody else have a question for It Figures?
I think it's a lovely idea, and you guys are a seemingly very strong team. So best of luck to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
I love it. Well, I want to move forward, everyone, and our next person will be Millie. All right, you can. She's nice and waving right there. We have some cool information about her. She is a VP at Global Entrepreneurship Business Lab. She's been an entrepreneur and innovator, and actually I found out has been featured on Forbes as just someone who helps other immigrants to just become their own business, to understand what that is and become entrepreneurs. And we found out you were a consultant at Michigan SBDC. I'm pretty sure you can disclose any of that information for anyone who does want to know. Her LinkedIn is at the bottom as well. And I will stop sharing. Do you have actually a presentation?
Yes, I do.
Perfect. And I see, I think I'm missing an eye. I wonder, I thought it was Millie.
Millie, yep. It was close though.
I thought I was like, I feel like something's missing there, but I will stop sharing, and I am going to actually make you a co-host.
Awesome. Before we get started, a small correction. I'm not the Vice President of Global Entrepreneurship Business Lab. I am the CEO of Global Entrepreneurship Business Lab, but I can see how this easily confused, which I'm about to share about in a little bit more later. But I used to be the VP of Global Detroit. So it's got, a lot of the names sound familiar. So, but I just wanted to kind of correct that, but it's not your fault because this is a new venture and a new startup, so which is why I'm here also today to share. And when I was approached through from DNT Tech, I was still the VP of Global Detroit, and then in January I resigned and started my own organization. So so it's just a transition of things happening fast paced. So there you are, right? So but I can definitely jump into my presentation that I have ready for you, and I'm going to share my screen in just a few moments here. All right. Actually move some things around, bear with me.
That is completely okay.
Great. Sorry, here, it's taking me longer than I wanted to. All right. I have all these multiple screens, so I'm trying to make one of them work the way I want it to.
I have complete and utter empathy for that. I deal with probably several Zoom calls in just one day, and trying to make sure you share the right screen can definitely take a toll.
Absolutely. Okay. So can you see everything now?
Yes.
Okay. Awesome. Wonderful. I want to share with you first about my mission. My mission is twofold. It is one part is best described by Oliver Wendell Holmes, who is the Supreme Court Justice in the late 1800s, who said, "The greatest tragedy in America is not the great waste of natural resources, although that is tragic. The greatest waste is the waste of human resources, where men and women goes to their grave with their music still in them." And one part of my mission and passion is to ignite the fervor in entrepreneurs and leaders today and cultivate entrepreneurs and leaders of tomorrow. So now the second part of my mission, if I can change the slide. Okay, oops, going back, it just took a minute. Okay, is a story that actually began several decades ago. So it's happened when a young couple immigrated from China to the United States with little to their name. They barely spoke English. They lived in a distressed neighborhood, and they did not know where to get help. They came to the United States with 2 small children and one on the way. Through relentless tenacity and perseverance, they built their first company within 7 years and created dozens of jobs for Americans and immigrants. So the young couple that I'm speaking about is my parents. When I was 4 years old, I came to the United States with my parents. And my parents told me that I was an unusual child, that I had an affection to recite philosophy for hours before I reached the age of 2, and that I was emotionally aware and mindful of others. I did not even remember this as an adult, right? My mom just told me this actually just a couple of weeks ago. But now that explains a lot of why I got into the work that I did. So even as a kid, I remember that my heart would ache when I witnessed my parents work endlessly, often multiple jobs at a time just to make ends meet and to hopefully save money to pursue the American dream. I never heard them gripe in all those years about working 16 hours a day, 7 days a week. And on many occasions, I didn't even see my father for days as he traveled from one labor job to the next, while he slept in any vehicle or street corner, literally, to rest. And my mother worked as a seamstress and made garments just for pennies till her hands were sore and her fingers bled. So at 4 years old, I'd babysit my baby brother while my mom worked in the next room. Because you see, as new citizens, they didn't have access to funding to launch their dream. They were not able to attend English lessons due to working long hours and laborious jobs to care for 3 children. And despite these financial and language challenges, my parents became the founders of 2 self-made companies here in Michigan. I was 11 years old when they first opened their first small business. I would help my mom and dad as a child translator at business meetings with contractors, accountants, attorneys. And mind you, I had no idea what I was saying, but through practice, I later understood. And I helped launch the business when I was 11 and managed the family business by the time I was 18. So those years ago, I wish organizations existed decades ago who could have provided guidance to families like mine who believed in diversity, equity, and inclusion for minorities and immigrants and the underrepresented. So since 2007, I have dedicated my career journey to education, inclusion programs, and building infrastructures to mobilize equity and equality for minorities. As you mentioned, I was featured as an immigrant leader on Forbes. I developed entrepreneurship programs in the Middle East and spearheaded several statewide and regional programs for minorities and launched somewhere in the realm of maybe 90 startups or so. I kind of lost count, and assisted probably well over 500 organizations. And all of this eventually led to the birth of Global Entrepreneurship Business Lab. So my father, he passed away recently in October 2020. And through this passing, it ignited my spirit even greater than before to scale and continue building inclusive communities in memory of my father's courage and determination to create the life that he envisioned for the people that he loved. So an organization like Global Entrepreneurship Business Lab was once a hope and a dream for me, but is now forged as a reality dedicated to helping underrepresented entrepreneurs who began like my family. So 14 years in the making. And just this year, I shared earlier that on January 21st, 2021, Global Entrepreneurship became official. And you are actually the very first group to hear this reveal. So thank you for sharing this debut event with me. It had been always on my mind, 100%, to launch out on my own. But last year gave me so much clarity. And through the example of my father's courage, his courage became my own. And when I embraced this fact, the doors flew open with amazing partnerships and clients, actually even before day one. So here is a brief description on what I do. So program development, we create and implement entrepreneurship programs. And this process can be really daunting. So we fully understand the complexities and the countless moving pieces for a program to actually be successful. And as a program partner, our experience, expertise, and guidance helps organizations to design, streamline, drive impact, and create memorable users' experience. The second prong to our services is entrepreneurship training. So whether organizations need to develop one course or an entire curriculum. And for the Middle East project, I did over 25. And we designed customized virtual live pre-recorded webinars and in-person trainings for entrepreneurs to launch or grow their business. And we also have one-on-one coaching through these program partners that uniquely caters to each individual through a holistic approach considering their background, their culture, business history, and specific needs. Then the third prong is translation assistance. So you probably remember from my story, language barriers were a huge factor for my family. So we assist with document translation. So if organizations need another set of eyes to edit or confirm accuracy, we can do that, or we can do the complete translation. I myself am actually the official Chinese verbal translator for Cantonese for the Small Business Development Center. So our translators are experienced in also business terminology to ensure that your business is or business message is translated into its intended meaning. So if you speak a foreign language, I'm sure you know that sometimes things don't translate exactly the way that the English version was written, and sometimes there aren't words that exist just like that. So we are experienced with knowing the entrepreneurship and business terminology so that it does get translated in the meaning that was supposed to be conveyed. So here are some facts of why this is important. Okay, so immigrants have founded 51% of US startups valued at 1 billion or more. 51%. Can you imagine how many businesses that are, how many jobs this has created in the US? And in Michigan, 20% of actually Main Street business owners are also immigrants, generating 1.3 billion annually. And on the slide here, I show some research from the New American Economy. I'm not going to go through each one of them, but you can see that from these stats, there's over 3.2 million immigrant entrepreneurs, and this was 2019 data. And look at how many sales of immigrant or total sales of immigrant-owned businesses, and then also 8 million number of people employed at immigrant-owned businesses. That's amazing amount of number of jobs that's created for the United States. And then here is another quick fact that minorities actually make up, and minorities as a whole, you know, all ethnicities, right? So make up 32% of our population. And minority business ownership represents 18% of that population. And according to the Minority Business Development Agency, MBDA, indicated that the number of minority-owned firms have grown by 35%. The average gross receipts for those firms dropped by 16%. Now, from a qualitative perspective, right, that we know that this is important, but we're not doing enough as a nation to really transform our nation to become a welcoming region and welcoming nation. So we must transform it to become an ever increasing and welcoming nation and encourage entrepreneurship, as it is critical to our nation's economic success and growth. When you don't know the statistics, you have no idea, but the statistics are there for us. Now, changing it up from a human perspective, you know, not even looking at those numbers, right? But from a human perspective, just like it was for my family, access to capital, technical assistance, language assistance would have helped my family greatly. And we created that American dream through blood, sweat, and tears. And many families, many individuals are not able to do it because it also took a little bit of luck as well, right? So how many families can we help through compassion and our simple ability to be able to do so? These actions are actually the qualities that define who we are as a nation. So the Dalai Lama said, love and compassion are necessities, not luxuries. And without them, humanity cannot survive. Thank you so much. I'm Millie Chu, founder and CEO. There's my email and website. Thank you so much, and I'm open for questions.
I love it. I love it. Such a eloquent and well-spoken presentation. Thank you so much. As you see, I have corrected making it a CEO and adding your I in it.
You.
Any Q&A for Millie? I know there is a lot that was said, but I definitely still want to give time. We have 5 minutes. Does anyone have any questions? or just comments on what she's doing. I saw some comments that was going on within the chat.
Oh, powerful story. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you, Tiffany. Thank you so much. And then Yulia said, immigrants and refugees are often overlooked groups from DEI initiatives. This is some important work that you're doing. Thank you so much for that comment, and I agree. And that's why it's so important to me to actually stress that as part of a DEI and inclusion initiative, to include like immigrants as part of this group, you know, that you know, we've founded so many companies. We struggled, we bled, we've been also gone through so much and dragged through the mud and trying to even start our own businesses, and was really ignored. You know, I saw what all of that has happened firsthand through my own family's experience. So, so that's what it really empowers me to really drive this force forward. Thanks.
We have 2 more questions down there. For
Next time one of my aunts asks me something, Millie, I swear I'm going to send them to you. One of my immigrant aunts.
Absolutely.
Here's a resource.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
Yeah, I love that.
We have a question for you, Millie. Doug put in the chat, where do your clients come from and what sources?
Great questions. So my clients come from my partners in economic development, and also through the universities partnerships that I work with. So those NGOs, which stands for non-government organizations, they could be training centers that are just like, you know, apart from the government. They could usually are social enterprises or nonprofits. And then also the EDOs themselves, which are also funded by the state, either state or federal dollars as well. So like, for example, the SBDC and LEAP, they're also funded by MEDC. I know this sounds like a whole bunch of ABC alphabet soup like right now, you know, but it's between SBDC, SBA, MEDC, but those are the bodies of organization that actually fund the work that I do. Because as you might have guessed, the entrepreneurs themselves cannot afford consulting. If you were to maybe outsource a business consultant, it can cost you anywhere from $100 to $300 per hour, right? So for consulting advice, and if normally that's usually what I would charge as well. But I recognize that that, you know, entrepreneurs and families like mine who started like mine do not have that in their back pocket. But there are government programs that they can apply for now, and I also try to push these government programs through legislation, through grants, assistance that are available, so it can make it available, so I can be able to help use these dollars along with that economic development organization to create these programs, so we can offer them at no cost and free to those who are in need. Hopefully I answered the question.
We have 2 more minutes. So I know we had a couple more questions, one from Neha. To go off of that, how do you do the research to find these companies, these people who need the help?
Yeah, so through my partners, we work with a myriad or handful of companies and EDOs, such as like LEAP, the Lansing Economic Area Partnership. They work with also the Refugee Development Center as well. So they have people that are, they either go and do outreach and look for these in the community, or a part of their existing programs in some way. So through that type of outreach, and sometimes it's just as much as, you know, it could be knocking on doors. It could be sharing it with perhaps the, you know, Asia Pacific Association and other groups that have a wide reach in the minority population, sharing with them our program so they can help with us, help us to be recruitment partners.
And let's see if we can get one more question in within the 1 minute. Doug also asked again, does your organizations apply for grants from the alphabet of organizations?
Yeah, so that's part of what we do. Okay, and then also actually a huge part of it is through responding to RFPs. And so requests for proposals. So we look for opportunities out there that does have a grant. It's not grants open to the public per se, but for those who do, you know, are in the industry of what I do. So I write proposals to petition basically and offer this proposal of the work that we can do. And that's usually how the organization is funded.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much, Millie, for everything that you have done. We are going to move forward at 8 for Gina and Trevor, aka Grandma Jean, who are founders of Shower Chic, entrepreneurs in their own right. I got some lovely information from LinkedIn, which you can see at the bottom, from Trevor. So this doesn't relate to Gina. I'm pretty sure she can give some of her own testaments, but we see that he's an alumni of Central Michigan and just skillful at driving content through social media and PR. So what I'm going to do right now for you, Trevor, is start the 10-minute timer. And I'm going to also make you co-host so you can share your slides.
Perfect. Thank you. And thank you everyone for being here. Obviously, it's great to be here. Are we able to share right now? Oh, okay.
You are able to share now. Yes. And Millie, I do see that there is even some more questions for you in the chat. So don't be afraid to answer. One thing that I always teach, I teach a tech intelligence workshop for people. And I said something that we should stop taking for granted is the benefits of Zoom. You can have a conversation while still the presenter is talking. So still, you can definitely chat and ask those questions for whomever is presenting and everything. So take it away, Trevor.
Yeah, so I'm having trouble being able to pull up the presentation right now or get sharing privileges.
Oh no.
Technical difficulties.
Yep, but I love to make sure that they are gone up. Here we are. Okay, I made you co-host again, but you should have the privileges now.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, it's telling me to open my system preferences when I do this. I apologize, guys.
System preferences. Well, I am happy to let you know that even in the midst of that craziness, I always keep a handy copy of all presentations.
That's what I was hoping for. Thank you.
Oh, geez, you saved the day.
Great.
So I will open it up for you, Trevor.
Perfect. Thank you. Yeah, and so as you get that going, get that opening, I'll kind of roll into it so we don't go too far into time. But again, I'm Trevor Turner. This is my mom, Gina Turner.
Not Grandma Jean.
Yeah.
No grandkids yet, although I would certainly appreciate a few.
Yeah.
Or one even, right?
Yeah. So I've obviously worked in marketing, PR, social media, writing, all those things. I'm currently in the solar energy industry right now, and my mom is an entrepreneur, working in sales, interior design, auto parts, many things like that. But what our product is called Shower Chic. That's a beta name right now. We're kind of testing it, and we're testing the product is what we're doing. Mm-hmm. And well, the product is solving a big problem to help really help bathrooms specifically who have glass shower doors and things like that. And I'll let my mom go into that and things like that. But here's the presentation I see opening. So here we go, Shower Chic. So what we're going to go over is the problem, the solution, and most importantly, we want your feedback.
Yes.
So you can go to the next slide, and thank you.
Thanks.
Yep. Okay. So I'll let my mom go into it, but a shower caddy, this is a shower caddy that hides your bleep and increases the value of your home. As you can see, most showers, they have shampoo bottles, soap bars laying around. And if you're trying to sell your home, that doesn't look good. And I'll let my mom go more into that. Mm-hmm. And let's see here. I'm trying to go on the next slide here.
Does he have to do it?
I control your slide. You want me to go to the next one? Just tell me.
Sure, thank you. So what is it? Next slide. So we're going to play this video and then my mom's going to go more into it, okay?
Hi, everyone. My name is Gina, and I'm here to talk to you today about the hot mess that everyone has going on in their showers. You know what I'm talking about. all your shampoo bottles, conditioner bottles, shaving cream, razors, loofahs, everything but the kitchen sink is laying around your shower. I came up with this idea while staging homes, and every home we went into, we had to tell people, hey, you've got to get all these items out of your shower when you have a showing, because it needs to look clean, it needs to look tidy. And then I came home and looked at my own shower and had the same thought. We've spent thousands of dollars on beautiful tiled showers with glass doors, and you look in and here's all your shower paraphernalia, and it really takes away from the beauty of the shower. So I got on the internet trying to find something that could hide everything, but anything that's on there or out there already just holds it. It doesn't hide it. So I came up with a stupid, simple idea of a shower box, essentially, that's waterproof, has drainage, comes in 3 different colors to match any decor, very attractive looking, to be able to hide and contain all your shower stuff. So let me know what you think. Let me know if it's something you'd be interested in. Any changes, maybe. We'd love to know, and hope it's something that you'd be interested in. Okay.
So this is the before, obviously. And here's the after with the product. So this is the
Okay.
design we have. Go ahead,
Yeah,
Mom.
I mean, I have to say, after hearing the 2 previous stories, this sounds extremely frivolous. It's like it's not gonna rock anyone's world or change the world, but I can relate to Millie's story. My dad came over from Italy with 5 siblings. Oh my God, probably 80 some years ago. And, he was, he did not come from, he came from poverty, actually. He had to go live with his older sibling because his parents couldn't afford him. And so he really, pulled himself up and, created a couple businesses and, did well. And so, I totally understand that. And I've worked with my family for 40 some years, so I think I get a couple brownie points for that at least. Nobody's.
Can everyone see us right now?
Okay.
Okay, cool.
So anyways, he was, an entrepreneur in his own right. But anyhow, so working at we're retail auto parts, and I've, worked there my whole life, 40 some years. But I've always had interest in design and, been creative. And so I started doing, home design, and that kind of led into home staging, which, I've done for like 5 years. And, like I said in the video, shower clutter was just a huge problem. And, I get that, a lot of people aren't too concerned with shower clutter, but, from my experience, it does create a problem. And, all the caddies and everything that are out there don't hide it, like I mentioned. And so anyways, it was just, again, a stupid, simple idea, but I thought, hey, how many stupid ideas have been out there over the years that have led into, a huge success. I mean, pet rocks, for example, I'm sure when they pitched that to family and friends, it was like, nobody was getting their checkbook out for that, I'm sure. But I feel like there's actually a need for this. And, I just thought, hey, put it out there and see what happens. And so really the purpose of this, like Trevor said, was to see, people's thoughts, if there was any changes. I guess I've just seen such a huge need for it. And, I've certainly asked a lot of people over the last year outside of family and friends, because they usually tend to agree with you. Well, not all the time, but,
Yeah.
and, I have discovered that a lot of people's glass shower doors are huge. They have been for the last 10 years, and they will continue to be popular. So it's it's just an organizational item.
Yeah, so like I mentioned earlier, we are really, we have the product design created, and now we're going out there testing it to see if maybe we should make some modifications or if maybe we should scrap the whole idea completely. And the value of this meeting here in this presentation is to gain your guys' thoughts and your feedback, maybe.
Either for yourselves or
Yeah,
people you may know, or, I mean, I get that, it's probably not a huge concern for a lot of people, but from my experience, in my world, it has been, and it is, especially for realtors. I work with realtors, obviously staging homes, and they always have to, they'll go and buy little, like plastic crates for their clients, and so they can put all their shower stuff in there and tuck it under the sink. And I just thought, well, hey, if they had this, it wouldn't be an issue.
And I think that's the biggest thing. Like that's for lack of a better word, the biggest sell. Because people spend thousands of dollars on these bathrooms and these beautiful showers with glass shower doors. And then when you go and look inside these showers, you see shampoo bottles, soap bars,
shaving cream.
I mean,
it's like it's all, you just see right through the door. Obviously, that's the point.
And especially if you're trying to sell the place, like that doesn't.
Or even, I mean, granted, I'm definitely more, OCD than most people. It's like I don't like to look at anything that doesn't go with the
like my mom, when she met at my place here, when I returned from work, she came from her home, she started cleaning my apartment and stuff like a mom would do.
Breeze through that kitchen
because it wasn't clean enough.
Well, no, it wasn't.
But I think this shows enormous value for people who spend thousands of dollars in a shower.
There's huge stores that are dedicated to organization, so it's kind of a big deal, the whole minimalistic lifestyle and all that. But yeah, like Trevor said, we really would like to just get some feedback from everyone.
Perfect. Do you want the Q&A to start now?
Sure.
Okay, cool. Well, first off,
thank you.
I will hand you those lovely claps. We already have some comments in the chat for you. So I'll read one of the first ones. First of all, from Tiffany, she said, this is very relatable. And Doug first said, have you considered marketing it to real estate agents or agencies?
Yes. We're at that point now.
Yeah, Doug, what do you mean by agencies or real estate agencies? I got it. Never mind.
Right. And there's, I mean.
Well, what I mean is that those are if where you're seeing this, you're seeing this, Gene, from when you're staging homes. And so that's a need. Right. So if I were a real estate agent and one of the perks of working with me was I would give my clients one of these things that could be part of the thing. Sometimes they give people stickers, they give, there's all kinds of stuff that goes along with working with certain real estate agencies, and that might be a thing that you could sell in bulk to agencies, and then they could give them to their clients. That's all I was thinking.
Yeah, no, you're exactly 100% right. And that's, what the next step, we're just kind of in the early stages, but that has always been, what I think would be, the best selling point is 2 realtors. And because, I mean, there's so many homes and so many realtors. And, I just really think it would be a little perk that an agent could offer, a client. No doubt.
Well, Cedric also said, he thinks it's a great idea and it just makes so much sense for you to be able to do. And Neha asked if it can stick onto the wall or does it need to stay on the floor?
Well, the thing, I mean, the design that you saw in the video is for the shower only, deal. Obviously, a lot of people have a tub with a shower, and then obviously it wouldn't be able to sit flat anywhere. So our thought was, hopefully once it gets into manufacturing, is to put a lip on the back of it that would hold like a neoprene, like a rubber band essentially, but it would be a clear plastic to where it would go along the back of it. that you could actually hang over your shower head. So it would rest flat, you know, like your typical shower caddies that you see everywhere, you know, the metal ones. It could hang over, you know, your shower head and then just, you know, look nice and neat hanging against the wall without being able to actually see everything.
Well, GQ also said he was like cute, they were like cute design idea. What was it made of?
Well, it's, you know, once we get to that point, it's going to be made out of a lightweight, waterproof material. Plastic, I'm sure, is going to be the ticket. So, yeah. And it's going to be 3 colors, you know, all neutral, you know, like your white, your tan and gray, because that's pretty much everybody's tile these days. So, yeah, I mean, like I said, you know, I've thought about it for a couple of years, and, you know, Trevor's so great at marketing and everything. So we kind of teamed up and see where it goes.
I also wonder, and I'd love to ask everyone here, because I spoke with someone who works with startups a while ago about this, and he suggested, he said an option, obviously figuring out what our goals are. We said one thing is partnering with an existing like product company to do maybe some type of licensing or something like that. You know, like where they sell our idea, or, you know,
Instead of us actually,
creating,
you know, creating it to sell the, I don't know.
and, you know, we haven't figured out our goals yet, and this is why it's so early, and that's why it's kind of exciting. But I would love anyone's feedback if they have any experience in that area of things.
No.
I was kind of very particular, but
Yeah.
And if you would like, you can unmute yourself if you would like to give certain responses. I know for me, pertaining to it, right when I saw it, I kind of thought also in the mindset of Doug of like, okay, real estate realtors on things that people would need for access to a clean home. And I kind of thought of like a bigger vision. Bigger vision in the sense of certain things real estate needs. And I just thought of like more going outside of just the bathroom. There are so many different areas, a part of the house that, and it seems like, Gina, that you understand that, but there's so many parts of the house that it would be very good at. So it's like, what other things could be made so it could also be sold in as like a group for real estate agents. So it's like, hey, these are the necessities that all of them like, hey, so these are the things that usually look messy or look interesting at the end. I remember my parents, when they sold their house, they recognized that some of the artwork that was on their walls was not artwork that, you know, apparently there's a whole type of theme your house should look. Your house should look very,
you try to make it look,
yes.
so you want it to, you don't want anything, you know, everybody has a different taste and a different, you know, design wants and stuff, but you're trying to appeal to the masses, obviously, when you put your house on the market. So
I would
crazy.
I would definitely invest in a realtor who has a package deal that I can upcharge for that would make my house more appeasing to sell.
Right.
And that's the first thing I thought of when I saw the shower chic. I thought of the bigger purpose of it and something that would help your house look more neutral. Like I would love to have just say, hey, yeah, I'll upscale this package deal and all of my stuff goes into a very nice storage area. And then they upscale my house in this very nice sellable theme. That was my first thought when I saw it.
Oh, good to know. No, it's a good point for sure. We usually just make them get rid of everything that we don't think looks good. people usually hate us, but.
And like talking about a mission or a story, and, you know, my mom's like kind of a clean freak. I always say she's OCD and things like that, which I'm not, you know, like I'm a guy, I'm a dude, whatever. But she's said, like, you know, when things are clean, you have a more a better sense of mind and things like that.
Oh, for
So I
sure.
think there's a mental health aspect of this, you know, when your things are organized, your showers are
It
organized.
sounds crazy. That's such a stretch, but
Yeah.
what was that book that I read? Make Your Bed.
Oh yeah.
Some
make your bed.
army general or something wrote a whole book.
Yeah.
Have you heard of that? Was Make Your
Yeah,
Bed.
the guy who makes his bed every day has
Yeah,
a
that
better
it
chance.
starts. I mean, I believe that. I think if you're organized and it organizes your mind, and you just have a better day. So people probably think that's crazy, but you know, I'm sure there's been a ton of research on it. I mean,
Well, the
can't
further
hurt,
on,
can't hurt, right?
exactly. Well, the further our last question, Neha did ask, is it patented? And was there anything similar on the market when you did the research for it?
Yeah, no, I mean, I scoured the internet, and you know, right now, every time I'm in any type of store, Bed Bath and Beyond, Target, you name it, I always look to see. No, there's absolutely nothing, which to me is crazy because I just feel like, you know, somebody should have came out with this by now. So
And
yeah, no,
yeah,
nothing.
there is no patent
No
yet.
patent, yeah.
And you know, it's funny her mentioning that. My parents were at Bed Bath and Beyond this weekend, and they texted me that there were no comparable things to the shower sheet product.
There really isn't. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we'll see what happens. But it's been really interesting listening to everybody's stories, and yeah, really cool things going on for sure. Probably
Well,
a little more important than a shower caddy, but
Millie has a question.
Yeah, sorry. I feel like I wanted to comment, but I've been responding to so many questions also through on the direct message that I wasn't 100% able to reply to you or make a comment when I wanted to. But I heard you ask something about, you know, you talked to a startup counselor, or consultant, and about some things to do. So generally, you know, before you are ready to like share this and license this with someone, you want to make sure that you have it intellectually, like intellectual property protected, trademarked, and then, but really even going back like several steps, you know, a few steps back, you know, I don't know all the ins and outs of what you have done and what you have not done, but some of the things I would say to actually make it so it is marketable and is like able to have some kind of acquisition like that happening or licensing is that you want to also be able to create this sort of like in a slide deck in a sense, or a business plan or something with data that actually has maybe that you've beta tested it with X amount of people and how this has helped. So the science behind it as well. So a lot of times when, you know, organizations like that partner with you or fund you or whatever it is, they want to make sure that your product, it works, right? And you know it works, but then that they want you to prove that it works so they can invest in you, because one of the main reasons that they're going to look for is the scalability of it. You know, if you sell this, can you mirror this exact product and be able to scale this, sell this, and repeat the process over and over and over. So that's what investors look at. That's what partners look at, you know, so really validating this data, putting the data together is going to be a main criteria before you approach any partners that may want to license the product.
You just have to really be able to document the interest in it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was very good advice. I'm again still thinking of it like, oh, you know, how fast would a home sell with this than without it?
Mm-hmm.
Like how fast would that happen? And if it does, you know, that's really cool. It is 8:24, everybody. So our last segment is just any questions or comments for D New Tech. So for me, anybody having any questions or comments, you can definitely email me, or you can go onto our meetup, and there is also another email on there where you can find us at, and we would love to be able to answer any questions that you have for us. Any concerns, any moving forward, and you being a part of our next meetups. We do these meetups each and every single first Wednesday of the month. So we would love to see you again. I already see some repeat faces here, so we would love to see you. I'm pretty sure the networking will be amazing. I'm pretty sure so many people would love to hear about Shower Chic, about It Figures, about Millie's You're Great. I think it was 3 names.
Global Entrepreneurship Business Lab.
Global Entrepreneurship Business Lab. I'm pretty sure so many people would love to hear about it still. So we would love definitely to see you. So again, if you do have any of those questions or comments, please send them to our email, and it's on our Meetup site. Or you can just ask me in the chat real quick. But to save on People's Day, we want to thank you, Night. We want to thank you so much for being a part of this. I was so happy to see some of these businesses. I believe just last month, I saw a business that was dealt with biometrics of a door lock and actually being able to secure your biometric feature and being able to deadlock your door from any place. So that was amazing. And just seeing so many businesses, I'm pretty sure everyone would love to be a part. So
was it Passive Bolt by any chance?
It was Passive Bolt. Yes.
Simon and Kabir, they're my peoples.
It was Passive Bolt. I did also see something very similar to them. I think it was something called August or something like that that was on the TV, and it dealt something similar. So I'm like, wow. It's interesting when people get on here, share the idea, you start seeing it everywhere. So Shower Chic, I expect this
next summer.
Ooh, sweet. So again, everybody, you can share your information in here. But thank you for coming. Hopefully I did well as your host.
Thank you, Mike. You did awesome. Great job.
You so much.
Thank you very much, Micah. Great job.
Of course. Everyone, you have an amazing rest of your night. Please get some, and hopefully you enjoyed this 50-degree weather day.
Yeah, heat wave.
Yes. I know Michigan's probably going to still throw us for a doozy, but hey, I take what.
Yes, it will.
Again, everybody, you have an amazing.
Thank you.
Bye, thank you.
Bye, everybody. Thank
Nice
you.
meeting all of you.
You too.
Hey, thank you. Good job.